Welcome to the Golf Report podcast, where we report on all things throughout the world of golf. In this episode, we will be previewing the championship match of the 123rd U.S. Women's Amateur, recapping round 3 at the AIG Women's Open, looking forward to round 4 at the AIG Women's Open, recapping round 3 at the Ex St Jude Championship, and previewing tomorrow's final round at the Ex St Jude Championship. We will also be recapping the final round of the Epson Tour's 4 Winds Invitational and much more throughout the world of golf. We have reached the final 2 competitors in the 123rd U.S. Women's Amateur. The week at the U.S. Women's Amateur began with a field of 156 players, and now we have whittled it down to the final 2 competitors after conducting 2 rounds of stroke play and 4 days of match play to get to this championship match. The championship match at the U.S. Women's Amateur this year will feature 45th seed LaTonna Stone of LSU Women's Golf going up against 6th seed Megan Schofield of Auburn Women's Golf. These are 2 of the premier and top players in women's amateur golf, and we should be in for an exciting and thrilling championship match tomorrow. Both LaTonna and Megan have certainly earned their way into the championship match, as you definitely should in any USGA championship, as they are premier championships in America and in the world. But I like to take a look at the players that LaTonna Stone has beat en route to the championship match, because it is really insanely impressive what LaTonna Stone has done and who she has beat to get into this championship match tomorrow. In the round of 64, LaTonna beat Amari Avery from USC, who is one of the premier players in women's amateur golf. In the round of 32, LaTonna beat Rachel Keane, a superstar out of Wake Forest. In the round of 16, LaTonna took down Yana Wilson, who is an incredible junior player and an Oregon commit. In the quarterfinals, she beat Tihana of UNLV 3-2, so an impressive 3-2 victory. And today she had a really incredible victory in the semifinals and a resounding victory, a 3-2 victory over superstar Rachel Heck of Stanford. You know, this is just beyond incredible golf from LaTonna Stone, and she has certainly beat the top of the top and the cream of the crop in women's amateur golf and, college golf to earn her spot in tomorrow's championship match. But let's not, belittle or forget the accomplishments of Megan Scholl, who's also, the other competitor in the championship match tomorrow as well. Megan has had to take down, also top players in women's amateur golf. Today, she took down Haley Borgia of Michigan Women's Golf, who she also took down a top junior player in Anna Davis, who won the 2022 Augusta National Women's Amateur yesterday. She took her down yesterday in the quarterfinals. And in the round of 32, Megan Schofield took down Kelly Zhu, who is an incredible collegiate player, an amateur player, who goes to the University of Stanford. So while, yes, LaTonna Stone has, beat more of the top, amateur players, Megan has also had to beat, the top amateur women players as well, and she deserves her props as well, just as well as LaTonna does. So both players have certainly earned their way into this championship match, and that's something we really like to see. We like players, beating the best of the best and, playing really good golf to get into this championship match. Let me for a second mention all of the similarities between LaTonna Stone and Megan Schofield going into tomorrow's championship match, because it is quite insane, actually, how many similarities these 2 players have to each other. Both players are from Florida, so both players are Floridians. They're both from the state of Florida. Both will be grad students up in the upcoming academic year. Both go to SEC schools. LaTonna Stone attends Louisiana State University, LSU, and Megan Schofield attends Auburn University. And both of these competitors' schools' mascots are Tigers, so the LSU Tigers for LaTonna and the Auburn Tigers for Megan Schofield. So to say that there is much parity and much similarities in this championship match tomorrow would be a serious understatement. Both players are great competitors, I'm sure both are great friends and both know each other's games well, so it should be a really fun and exciting match tomorrow. But regardless of all the similarities and regardless of how these players have got there, and regardless of the incredible play that they're displaying and currently playing at the moment, we should have a classic match set up for tomorrow's championship. And certainly, as a huge golf fan myself, I am certainly very excited for all 36 holes as a huge golf fan that these two players will be offering up to us. So best of luck tomorrow to both Latana Stone and Megan Schofield as they compete against each other in the championship match at the 123rd U.S. Women's Amateur. Regardless who wins, both players should be very excited and very content with all their accomplishments. But may the best competitor win between Latana Stone and Megan Schofield tomorrow in the championship match of the 123rd U.S. Women's Amateur. At the AIG Women's Open, the third round concluded today with England's own Charlie Hull tied for the lead at 9 under par, with Lilia Vu also finishing the third round at 9 under par. Lilia Vu shot a third round 5 under par 67, while Charlie Hull shot a third round 4 under par 68 today. Ali Ewing, who began the third round with a 5-stroke lead, struggled from the start of her round. Ewing began the day with an opening bogey, then bogeyed holes 5 and 6, and made 3 more bogeys on her back 9. Ewing finished the day with a 3 over par 75 and is currently in 5th at 7 under par after beginning the day with a 5-stroke lead. So we know how each day can be different, and each round is different. Ali Ewing was looking dominant through the first 2 rounds and then struggled today with a 3 over par 75 to go from first place all the way down to 5th. Charlie Hull held the solo lead for a moment near the end of the day. After bogeying the 14th hole, she strung together 3 consecutive birdies on holes 15, 16, and 17 to take the solo lead, but then was tied for the lead by Lilia Vu, who made at the end of round 3, and Lilia Vu made a birdie on the 18th hole. Also at the top of the leaderboard, we have Angel Yin and Hyo Chu Kim tied for third place at 8 under par. It's just a matter of time before Angel Yin wins her maiden LPGA tournament, and let alone her first major championship. So maybe tomorrow could be Angel Yin's day. Long overdue, and it's been long coming for Angel Yin to get her first win. She's been up there near the top of the leaderboard. She lost in the playoffs to Lilia Vu at the Chevron Championship. So I think, you never know. Maybe tomorrow could be Angel Yin's day to get her maiden first LPGA Tour victory. I think she has a lot of power in her game, and she's been playing some incredible golf this year after struggling for a while there. So I definitely think, maybe tomorrow could be her day. She's in third place, only 1 stroke back. So he definitely has a chance, and I think it's only a matter of time before Angel Yin gets her first victory on the LPGA Tour. And as we saw with other players like Jennifer Kupcho and others, for example, maybe sometimes your first victory can come in a major championship. Lynn Grant of Sweden is also up there in 6th place at 6 under par, and Lynn is more than capable of coming out and going low tomorrow. So players definitely have to take an eye at Lynn Grant. She's definitely, even though she's at 6th place and she's 3 back at the lead at 6 under par, she's definitely capable of going low and vaulting up the leaderboard tomorrow. So definitely Lynn Grant is one to look for tomorrow. She's won earlier this year on the LPGA Tour, and she definitely has the ability, take it low tomorrow and, use all her power, her great game to vault up the leaderboard. And maybe tomorrow will be Lynn Grant's day. She's won this year. She dominated on the LET Tour, the Ladies European Tour, and, she's a superstar in the making out of Sweden. And maybe tomorrow is her day to get her first major championship victory. But regardless, we have, a wide open leaderboard, an exciting leaderboard. We have 13 players within 5 strokes of the lead. So it's very wide open and exciting going into tomorrow's final round. One person doesn't have, a huge lead. We had Ali Ewing with a 5-stroke lead going into today, but then Ewing struggled today, and now you have a very close leaderboard with 13 players within 5 strokes of the lead, so it's very wide open, and anyone's able to win it. Any one of the 13 players I think could vault up there and win it tomorrow. So should be an exciting finish tomorrow. There certainly will be a ton of fanfare for Charlie Hall because she's playing in front of her home crowd in her home country. It'd be huge, for England and for golf in general throughout the world if Charlie Hall were to take the title tomorrow and be the champion tomorrow at the AIG Women's Open. I mean, if you just go back to 2018 at Royal Lytham, where we saw how massive and how big of an impact Georgia Hall's victory had in 2018, not only to her home country, but to golf throughout the world. So it would be huge if, Charlie Hall could win because we saw how huge it was when Georgia Hall won in, 2018. But let's not forget about Lilia Vu, who's also tied for the lead. She's a major champion this year. She won the Chevron Championship in April, and she shot a really good round today of 500 par 67 today, so she will certainly not be going anywhere. I don't expect Lilia Vu to give up really many shots or any strokes to the field today, so I think those like Charlie Hall and Angel Yan and Kyoju Kim, Lynn Graham, Ali Ewing, all there in the top 6 are really going to have to go out there and earn it. I think Lilia Vu has the experience. She knows what it takes, and she's won a major championship this year, so I don't think she'll be going anywhere. I think those others that I mentioned at the top of the leaderboard are really going to have to go out there and earn it and not make too many mistakes and string together a lot of birdies to be able to take the title for Lilia Vu. So I definitely think Lilia Vu is going to play well tomorrow and make everyone earn it. So a close leaderboard and England's own Charlie Hall tied for the lead in her home country sets us up for an exciting finish at the AIG Women's Open. I'm very excited to see the finish at the AIG Women's Open tomorrow. But let me stop and recognize that tomorrow is the final round of Major Championship golf for this year. Major Championship golf seems to have flown by us this year. We started with Jon Rahm winning the Masters, and now we're here at the final round of the AIG Women's Open. After tomorrow, we won't have another major round until 2024, which is sad, but we should all just certainly enjoy the exciting finish that we have tomorrow at the AIG Women's Open Championship. And I am certainly excited myself to view all 18 holes and hopefully, maybe England's Charlie Hall can get the victory in her home country, or maybe, we can have a maiden LPGA victory for someone like Angel Yan. But regardless, we should be in for an exciting finish at the Women's Open Championship tomorrow. And we should all soak it in and view it as golf fans tomorrow. On to the PGA Tour, where round 3 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship concluded in Memphis, where we have last week's winner, Lucas Glover. He finished the day with a one-stroke lead at 14 under par over Taylor Moore. Hey, at least today it wasn't brutally hot like it was on Friday, where heat indexes were well above 100 degrees. On Friday, we had guys, draping cold towels over their heads and, using umbrellas just to keep themselves out of the sun and the heat. So the weather was definitely, part of the story and part of the headlines on Friday. And I was glad to see that the weather wasn't as much of a factor today as it was on Friday. Lucas Glover has continued his incredible play this week and has played nearly flawless golf through 3 rounds, recording, just 2 bogeys through 54 holes. In third place, we have Tommy Fleetwood at 12 under par, but Tommy just needs to eliminate the bogeys that he's making when other guys like Lucas Glover and Taylor Moore are playing so well this week in the playoffs. I mean, in the playoffs, you expect, guys to be playing their best and playing at the top of their games when we're in the playoffs. Tommy needs to know, that you just can't make many or really any bogeys at all at this time when you're in the playoffs, and he's been making more bogeys than someone like Lucas Glover has. Tommy needs to know that bogeys become more immensely costly in the playoffs. But maybe tomorrow can finally be Tommy's day to break through, where he gets his long overdue PGA Tour victory. He lost in the playoffs earlier this year in Canada, and it's been long overdue. He had that time where he could have won the Honda Championship, maybe probably should have won the Honda Classic, but hit it in the water and didn't get it done there. So Tommy's had many chances. It's been long overdue for his his first PGA Tour victory, and maybe tomorrow is Tommy's day. But I think he just needs to go out there, get started, make a lot of birdies at the start. He's two behind, Lucas Glover. Lucas Glover won last week at the Wyndham Championship and is playing some phenomenal golf. He's only made two bogeys through 54 holes, and I think Tommy just needs to go out there and string together some birdies at the start of his round and eliminate the bogeys. And I think, you never know, maybe tomorrow could be Tommy's day to get his main PGA Tour victory, because I think it's long overdue, and I think it's only a matter of time before Tommy gets his first PGA Tour victory. I think it's a matter of if, not when, for Tommy. So hopefully tomorrow maybe is Tommy's day. And tied for fourth at 11 under par, we have Max Homa, who shot a very good 65 today. We also have Jordan Spieth tied for fourth at 11 under par. Jordan Spieth made it very exciting, as he always does today in round 3, but that's why we love Jordan Spieth. You just never know what you're going to get out of a Jordan Spieth round of golf. Looking at the live projected FedEx Cup standings, we have Jon Rahm in first place, Scottie Scheffler in second place, Lucas Glover in third place if he were to win the FedEx St Jude Championship. Rory McIlroy would be in fourth place in the live projected FedEx Cup standings, and Max Homa would be in fifth. This goes to show how dominant Rahm and Scheffler have been so far this season, because they are still at the top of the projected FedEx Cup standings, even though they're both not playing very well this week. Scottie Scheffler is currently tied for 23rd, and Rahm is currently tied for 42nd. Rahm really struggled at the beginning, on round 1 at the beginning of this tournament, but he's brought it back, and now he's tied for 42nd. So hopefully for Rahm and for Scheffler, they can just vault up the leaderboard and continue collecting FedEx Cup points, and put themselves in a good position going into next week at the BMW Championship. There's a 20% chance of rain tomorrow in Memphis, so hopefully that stays away, and hopefully the weather isn't as a factor as it has been this whole week. So hopefully the weather will be good, the rain will stay away, and that we will get to see some very low scores, because I expect to see a birdie fest tomorrow as players are vying for the title here at the FedEx St Jude Championship. They're also vying for important FedEx Cup points. They're vying to vault up the FedEx Cup standings, and so I expect to see if the weather's good, I expect to see the players shoot very low scores. I mean, we've seen most of the players are shooting in the 60s. If you're shooting 70 or over par, if you're shooting even or over par, you're losing a lot to the field. So I expect lots of birdies, very low scores, and players playing at their best. So I think we should have a very exciting and very good finish tomorrow at tomorrow's final round in Memphis, with a one-stroke lead for Lucas Glover, who won last week at the Wyndham Championship. On to the Epson Tour, the road to the LPGA Tour, where we had the Four Winds Invitational in Indiana. Gabby Ruffles continued her dominance on the Epson Tour by capturing a 3-stroke victory at the Four Winds Invitational in Indiana. This is Gabby Ruffles' third victory of the season on the Epson Tour, the road to the LPGA Tour. And I'm sure it's only a matter of time before she is out on the LPGA Tour full-time. Gabby played a really great and solid round by shooting 3 under par today in the final round for a 69. She made 4 birdies and 1 lone bogey on her second hole. She was propelled to victory by her second round bogey-free 7 under par 65. 1 bogey for Gabby through 3 rounds is sensational golf, and she is more than deserving of the title at the Four Winds Invitational. I want to say a huge congrats to Gabby Ruffles on the title, and this being her 3rd title of the season on the Epson Tour, the road to the LPGA Tour. And I hope that she'll be out there on the LPGA Tour in a full-time basis in due time very soon, because I think she's ready, her game is ready, and she has been dominating the Epson Tour, and I think she's ready to go out on the LPGA Tour on a full-time basis. So congrats to Gabby, and she's just continuing to dominate the Epson Tour and show that she is ready to go out there on a full-time basis on the LPGA Tour. Also at the Four Winds Invitational, we had Catherine Smith and Becca Huffer finish tied for second at 9 under par, 3 strokes behind the champion Gabby Ruffles. Laura Wren and Agatha Lassine of France finished tied for 4th at 8 under par. Next week, the Epson Tour will be heading to Oregon for the Wild Horse Ladies Golf Classic. We wish best of luck to all the players on the Epson Tour as they continue their season and vie to get onto the LPGA Tour. I know the top 10 on the Epson Tour get automatically onto the LPGA Tour. So good luck as the Epson Tour will be heading to Oregon next week for the Wild Horse and Ladies Golf Classic. On to the PGA Tour Champions, where they are in Washington for the Boeing Classic. Stephen Ames of Canada holds a one-stroke lead at the Boeing Classic at 10 under par over Stephen Alker and Miguel Angel Jimenez. I want to give a personal shout out to Nota Begay III for a great round of 7 under par 65 in round 2 at the Boeing Classic. It's great to see Nota, competing out there competing on the Champions Tour after he took lots of time away from competitive golf to work for the Golf Channel. Looking at the Charles Schwab Cup lead standings, we have Steve Stricker holds, a commanding lead in the Charles Schwab Cup over Bernhard Langer, who's in second. Steve Stricker has had a dominant season, and he holds a, resounding lead in the Charles Schwab Cup over Bernhard Langer. Finally, going on to the Korn Ferry Tour. The Korn Ferry Tour is in Omaha, Nebraska, for the Pinnacle Bank Championship. John Vanderland of Connecticut holds a 2-stroke lead at 16 under par over Max Gracerman and Jacob Bridgman. I will certainly be rooting for fellow Connecticut player John Vanderland to get his first victory, his maiden victory on the Korn Ferry Tour tomorrow. So I'm going to be rooting, for John Vanderland to get his first victory on the Korn Ferry Tour. Looking at the points list on the Korn Ferry Tour, we have Ben Coles in the lead of the Korn Ferry Tour points list. We have Rico Hoey in second of the points list, and Ben Silverman of Canada is in third place of the Korn Ferry Tour points list. Tune back into the next episode where we will be discussing the final round of the AIG Women's Open. We will be discussing the championship match and result at the U.S. Women's Amateur. We'll be discussing the final round of the FedEx St. Jude Championship and more, like the final round of the Boeing Classic on PGA Tour Champions and the final round of the Pinnacle Bank Championship, while we also look ahead to the upcoming week in golf. Thank you for tuning in to the Golf Report podcast, where we report on all things throughout the world of golf.